All right, we should be live.
Hello, everyone. This is Carol Stewart coming to you from Rockport, Texas. We're here with all of our artists today, and it's the Rockport Studio Tour Live. So we have a bunch of us here, and we're going to be in Elsa Mathew's studio today. She is relatively new to Rockport. She moved here a couple of years ago, and she originally got here because she wanted to, it was for her husband's fishing. He had a fishing habit, and she wanted to support that fishing habit. And so they came on down to Rockport, and then she got to know the art center, and la-di-da, here we are. She's a great member of the art center, and she is a great member of our community. So welcome to the 5th episode, and thank you for joining us. Before we go on to Elsa, I want to thank our sponsors, including First Community Bank here in Rockport. The future of banking has arrived in the Coastal Bend with the debut of the new First Community Bank interactive teller machines, the ITMs. The new ITMs feature upgraded technology and improved functionality over existing ATMs, including a touch screen, two-way. Basically, you can do everything you need to do in this ITM. So with that being said, oops, I'm losing myself. Here we are. We want to go to the artist roll call. Now, I want to say that the Rockport Studio Tour Live, we are only here because of the many artists that are participate on this tour. It is a fundraiser for the Rockport Center for the Arts. And so as you're here, I'm going to be going around introducing each of our artists. And I'm doing that because we want to direct you to their websites, to their studios, to their phones. We want you emailing me, asking me how to get a hold of them so you can buy their work. And when you do, we want you to use the promo code RSTLive. Why? Because when you do that, our artists will contribute 20% of your purchase to the Rockport Center for the Arts to support our programs and all of our great virtual programs like this right here. So please consider that as we go through. So that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to go back into this and go into speaker view. And I would just ask everyone, let's go around and introduce everyone. So Mike, or Doc Roberts, I'm going to hand it over to you. Please handle artist roll call.
Right on, cool deal. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it a lot. And here we got everybody on. We got Diane to my left. So my view may be different than everybody else's, but hi, Diane. How you doing?
Introduce them one by one.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diane Johnson, silversmith. What I'm working on today is scarf rings.
Oh,
to put on your scarves, and also bandana rings to wear a bandana. And look
oh my gosh, that's great.
Right on, right on. Okay. Thanks for doing that. And we got Barbara to my right here. Hi, Barbara. How you doing? What you got?
I'm great. I'm an abstract artist, and this is an oil and cold wax method that I'll be showing when I have my turn as a studio tour. I also do watercolors that are abstract. So I'm looking forward to showing what I do. Welcome, everyone.
Great. And a lot of Barbara's work is very beachy, very oriented. As you can see behind her in her studio, she has fish right behind her. And behind that is a wall and water. It's very influential in her work. So please consider, if you are looking for something about bringing the water indoors, she's definitely an artist to see.
Yes.
Who do we have next, Doc?
All right, well, we got Vivian. How you doing, Vivian? Show us what you got going on.
Hey, Vivian.
I'm a potter here in Rockport, and I am currently playing in the mud.
Oh my goodness. Tell us, what is that? Is that something you've thrown or?
It was thrown in 2 different pieces and I altered it, and it's still raw greenware, pretty soft.
Ask me that question again.
This is really great because you can see the things in the process. And Vivian does sell work in the Arts Center. So if you're interested in seeing some items, you can go down to the gift shop where she has a few pieces on display in the members gallery.
That's the other.
Great. And who's next?
All right, next we got Anita Diebel. Hi, Anita. How you doing? We saw you last week. Great.
Great, yeah. Okay, it's not on. Okay, there we are. Hi, I'm Anita Diebel, and welcome to my studio for just a few minutes. I am a painter. In back of me is one of my most recent works. It's just a floral. And then I'm working on, oh, this one doesn't show up. We'll forget that. I'm working on a series of sky paintings. So,
Anita, I love your t-shirt. Where did you have that done?
When I got the studio, my daughter-in-law gave it to me, but I think it's backwards, is it?
No,
Nope.
only to you. For us, it looks just right.
Good. Yeah.
Just to let folks at home know, Anita we are working to get her pieces up on the Rockport Center for the Arts website online store. But if you are interested in purchasing anything that you saw her make last week or show off, please reach out to me here at the Arts Center, and I'll happy to put you in contact with her. Doc, who's next?
All right, next I have Robin Hazard. Where's she at? We got a blank screen there. Robin, are you around?
I'm here. Can you see me?
There we go. All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's everybody else doing?
Oh, we're all right.
What are you working on now, Robin?
I am just doing some large canvases, new pieces.
Oh, so are those your pieces behind you?
The one back this way is one of my pieces, and the one back in the hallway back there is.
Oh, fantastic. Well, she's another great abstract artist that brings the nature indoors. And so if you're interested in her work, again, feel free to reach out to me. We'll make sure that we get our websites on the show notes and comments tomorrow. And so you can reach out to everyone directly. Doc, who's next?
All right, I got Jean. How you doing, Jean?
I'm doing great.
Good
Welcome,
deal. What you got going
everybody.
on?
I am on the board of the Rockport Center for the Arts and general cheerleader for the artists in Rockport.
And she's been doing an amazing job. I was just on a conference call with her earlier today talking about our brand new campus and our brand new building and all the new features that we're going to have there. And I'm so excited about the direction the Rockport Center for the Arts is taking. And it's because of volunteers like Jean on our board and artists that are on the show that we are able to take the direction we are. So thank you so much, Jean.
Absolutely. It's coming alive.
Great. Who's next, Doc?
All right, next I got Stan Irvin. Hi, Stan. How you doing? What you got going on there?
Good. Can you all hear me?
We sure
Yeah,
can.
Yeah.
Well, I've been pretty busy today. I've been mixing a lot of clay, all this clay out on the table.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff.
I'm kind of drying it out so that I can make a final run through the pug mill. These cups are little things I've been doing with printed imagery on them.
How big are those going to be? How many ounces will that hold once it's dry? Because I know it's going to shrink about.
You know how big my hand is.
Yeah.
It's about a pint of beer.
Are those? Well, those are greenware. They're going to shrink after they're dried, right?
Yeah, they'll probably hold about 12 ounces.
All right.
So still
these are patterns that I've made, either silk screen or stencils that I made on my little stencil cutter and then printed onto the slab and then formed.
Oh my gosh. You were going to do a workshop on that, weren't you, this spring?
I was, but something happened.
Oh yeah, I know. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to see if maybe you can show us next week at your show when you're the featured artist.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Right
Awesome.
on.
Thank
There's
you
some more
so
lidded
much.
vessels in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Excellent. Who's next, Doc?
All right, next I got Deborah. Hi, Deborah. How you doing? What you got
Deborah
going on?
Bannister.
Hi. Hey, I am in the middle of finals week at Victoria College, so I haven't gotten much done in the studio this week because of that, but I do have one of these lovely pieces right here. This is frost porcelain. It's from New Zealand. It's very particular, and I throw these forms, and this is what I'm going to be doing as soon as I get the grades all in.
Oh,
And
nice.
In
thank
fact,
you.
I own one of those right here. I have one as well. I'm not gonna, I'll show it off later. But see, y'all can see mine as well. It's super light and they're super thin. They're fantastic.
Wow.
Can you see the light through it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on just a moment. Let me put it back and hold on.
We can see it.
We can
Oh,
see it.
yeah,
That's
sorry.
good.
Okay. So this is, normally if you get something really thin in porcelain, it's been cast. But I challenge myself to throw this thin, and it's really difficult, and I lose quite a lot of them. But that's one of my favorite lines of work that I do.
Yeah.
Right on.
Great.
Okay.
All right, Doc, who's next?
All right, next we have Sarah Morrison.
Sarah's not showing her face today,
Yeah, I know,
but
but-
I
she is
know.
another-
I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my face today.
No,
That's all
it's
right.
quite all right. Sarah's another great supporter of the Arts Center and great contributor. She is one of the co-chairs for this event. So Sarah, thank you so much for joining us every week and all of the support you had behind the scenes getting this
Thank
together.
you, Carol. It is my pleasure to be a cheerleader.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Who else do we have here? I think
Okay.
we
I
have
got
Bonnie.
Bonnie. Yep, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm going to show you my my most recent collage.
Oh, we lost your
Made with
camera,
hand-made
Bonnie.
paper.
There we
Oh,
go.
there we are. Hold on.
There, oh, wow. What was that again?
It's it's a collage. All the papers I make in color and develop, and so it's just I've done a series of these abstract collages this hearing.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Bonnie is working with a local Rockportian, that's a new word for me and I love it. I just learned it this week. But a Rockportian with her website where she'll be selling a bit of her work. So and Bonnie, what's your website?
It's Bonnie Prouty, Rockport.com.
There you go. And again, I will make sure everyone's website is in the comments feature of this episode before tomorrow when it's taped. So with that being said, we're going to go back to Elsa. Elsa, are you ready to show us around your gallery or your studio?
I sure am. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
I can.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to say that I'm very excited to be part of the studio tour again. I did it a couple of years ago, and it was lots of fun. I'm in a different location now. We've moved since then, so my studio is now in my building, but it's very comfortable. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from San Antonio. My mom was from Mexico, and she's very creative. She did Sorry, having some technical glitches here. But anyway, let's go on. So my Mexican heritage plays a big part of my painting. And our title today, Momento a Momento, shows that I am just working in all different areas and painting. My latest work is an abstract based on Pollock. This is called homage to JP or Jackson Pollock. I started it on an older painting and started with a blank, covered the whole face in a neutral color, and then kind of went wild with shapes and flashes. And I wanted to keep just a very limited palette, red, yellow, black, white. And when I got done, after throwing it on the floor and flashing, I added some blue, which I think really brought it to life. So I'm enjoying this, very relaxing. Next to that, we have another little abstract that
Hey,
I call
Elsa. Elsa,
Yes.
would you mind asking your cameraman to come a little bit closer? We're having a little hard time hearing you. We want to hear your beautiful voice.
Okay. This
Oh,
is
that's
called
much better. Thank you.
Good. Square dancing. And that was also shapes, lines, colors. So going around the studio, something that I've collected. And this is a personal object. I have 3 wonderful daughters and 5 grandchildren, and they surprised me today with some beautiful flowers. And this little collage back here is a collage made of wine labels that my husband and I don't think we drank all of these the first year we were married, but I made it the first couple of years of our marriage. And then, of course, Tito's, our sponsor, yay. And these 2 paintings, can you see 2 or, okay. One of these will be chosen as the giveaway. The first
Wow,
one
are
is
you
the
saying that this one or the one in the gold frame will be the giveaway at the end of the episode?
Yes, and I was thinking that the person whose number is drawn, I would like them to choose whether they would like the watercolor or the oil painting. And I'm
Wow, man, I really wish I was in it.
And you know, today is Cinco de Mayo.
And what does
Yay.
that mean? For those who aren't from Texas, what does Cinco de Mayo mean?
I knew that someone would ask. So Cinco de Mayo, some people think it's Mexican Independence Day, but it is not. Cinco de Mayo celebrates the victory of the Mexican army over the French Empire in 1862 at the Battle of Puebla. And I think by now, the U.S. celebrates Cinco de Mayo a whole lot more than Mexico does. But here's my little tribute to that. We've got some tequila and the dancer and some of my hats. Carol, I know that you like my hats.
I love your hats.
Yeah, this one was given to me by a good friend. It's authentic, got lining and so on.
I have
And
to
this
say,
was my-
having moved here from the Midwest, I have a lot more hats with broad brims down here. My hat game has definitely leveled up.
You need them. Now, moving right along, I have these nice shelves in my studio, and this is where either works in progress or things waiting to be adopted can hang out. This collage piece here is one I did last year, and I put it out because it's Mother's Day. This is my Madrecita, and I collaged in pieces of her original passport when she came to the U.S. in 1929. And so you can't see all of them, but she loved roses and gardening, and so I put that up there.
So Elsa, can you show us a couple of your pieces that are looking for forever homes?
Well, okay, I've got a bunch on the next wall, but here's a good one. This is called City Bird. And this is from when I lived in San Antonio in a condo, and we would see the birds come down the street and they would land on the wires all the time.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
This is that was fun painting.
What would something like that run a collector?
Oh, gee. Let's see if I don't have a price on it, but maybe
I'll
about.
post that in the comments tomorrow. We'll get back to everyone on that.
I do have a website and I'm working on updating it, and I will have prices there.
Fantastic, and I'll be sure to share that with the comments.
I'm usually pretty reasonable. If Sarah's gonna look at my big wall over here, up high, I have collectibles that I like to have around my studio. Some of them are, there's a couple of sculptures that I did when our friend Bob Lockhart was here in Rockport. And also when Brett Harvey was here, there's the hand sculptures. Other things are just things that I've collected and like to keep
Oh,
around.
wait, so are those things that, items you made in workshops from other member artists that they've had here in Rockport?
Yes, the little kind of Frida looking doll.
Nice.
That's from Bob Lockhart's class. The hands with the heart are from Brett Harvey's class. And then if we pan back there, if you, let me go back here. So we
Hey,
can
also,
see
we
the
got
whole-
a question for you from the YouTube page. Somebody's asking, Victoria's asking, how long have you been painting and selling your artwork?
I started painting in 1985. I joined the San Antonio watercolor group and took a lot of workshops with them and just enjoyed tremendously. That's where I met Miss Anita Diebel, who taught me a lot of stuff. And we worked together being workshop chairman for a while, which was a lot of work that gave us the opportunity to meet so many wonderful artists from Texas and around the country. And they were just so giving and sharing. So when someone asks, how long did it take you to do this painting? I will say, well, it took me 2 days and 35 years. And I always used to wonder why people would say that, but after 35 years, I know why they said that. And we still struggle. So, Victoria?
Anita, could we see some of those little square pieces behind you? It looks like a diptych.
This is the view from my house in Rockport, which from 2008 until we sold it last year was where I had my studio in South Rockport, and that was the view from above, from the cupola that we had. And there's all lots of little cottages. This started out as a watercolor, and then I decided to paint over it in oil.
Now, this leads us right into a question from YouTube. It is a question from Kay Betts. She asks, Elsa, has your art changed moving to the Gulf Coast from San Antonio? Are there different colors or subjects?
It just depends on the day. For instance, this spring, we moved into our new house and it had beautiful azaleas, which bloomed, Sarah. And these are some photos of my azaleas. So I decided to paint those. And I have a watercolor here. This is the first thing I did. This is the watercolor that I mounted onto a canvas and varnished over, so it does not need to be under glass. And then I decided to do it again in oil. Also, to answer Kay's question, the hummingbirds are from Rockport and some of the other birds. So it has changed, but I still go back and forth. I go back and do my figure painting and faces.
Now, I know that we have the Hummingbird Festival in September in Rockport, and there's so many hummingbirds in the area at that time. Are those paintings, did you take photos of birds while they were here, or?
One year we had very many hummingbirds at our feeder, and I took a series of photos, and then I did sketches from them very loosely, and then this is what resulted on a more serious piece.
That's great.
Thank you. We also have from back in, we'll jump back to San Antonio, you know, Momento on Momento, that's me. We have a series that I call the San Antonio Shoppers. And these are based on family postcards that were done in San Antonio. And my parents, my aunt, and my half-sister. So that's back to San Antonio. These three pieces here are new works that I have beautiful windows outside my bedroom. And I wake up and I see the oak trees right there. And so it's just a jumble of branches and leaves and, so this is what I try to capture, that feeling in these paintings. Let's
Right
see,
on.
what else? So, and here's another, I'll be doing an oil of my azaleas again. And it's the people that are learning about art or painting can see I gridded off my canvas. I had a photo to follow, my nice plate inside. And I took the photo and then I said, well, I don't want all the background. You could see my couch and my television and so on. So I blacked it out with a Sharpie marker. And this is what I want to paint. So I gridded this off and then I gridded my canvas and I started it. And since I started it, I guess my mind has wandered to other things. And I've got white canvas syndrome, so it hasn't gotten painted yet, but it'll get there. It'll be painted for our actual studio tour.
So for those who are just getting into art and may not understand the gridding system, could you explain that? Just how you're able to make something small larger?
Well, first of all, I got my image to the same proportion as my canvas. And when I gridded it off, I did it into quarters. So first I did in half and then divided each in half. And since my canvas is the same proportion, I was able to get the same proportion. So then when you draw, you kind of look at this little square, okay? You say here, this curve goes from here to here. And it frees your mind up so that you don't have to try and do the details right away. And of course, it doesn't always have to be perfect. I'm never perfect on drawing. I'm just kind of, if I get to see feeling, that's it for me. Okay.
Thank you so much for taking a moment.
Okay, I have a couple of other things here to show you. Again, on the Moment to Moment feature, I decided to do a painting of a bird's nest, robin's egg, and I thought it was fitting that the frame should be covered in eggs. My friend brings me farm eggs that her chickens lay, and they're green and blue. I'm sure some of you have seen this. And so there's a very special technique to do this, to get them ready. You mash them. So that's it. And then they're applied with glue. Sometimes I use hot glue, sometimes I use just Elmer's. And then when it's dry, use grout to grout over them. Then I go on to the next moment. And I do some acrylics. And this is kind of a fun. These three are started together. And so when I decide that I want to do something extra to them, I'll get my liquid acrylic and just squirt it around.
So we have a question from the audience while you're doing this, and it's from Cindy Carter. She asked, what medium are you looking to explore next on your art adventure? So you showed us watercolor, oil, drawing. What else?
Well, right now I've been working on printmaking, lino cuts. And we have a little group that meets at the Art Center. And we use the wonderful printing press that was donated by the estate of, I don't remember now if it was Herb Booth or Al Barnes. I'm sure somebody in the group will tell me, one of those, that it's a great printing press. So with that, we can see some of the prints. Sarah's going to go around and show you a good view. Some of the prints that I have made. And I love to do women. I love to do Frida Kahlo. So this is the lino cut block, and this is the resulting print. And when we're ready to do the demo, I'll show you all the other stuff that goes with it.
Well, wonderful. Before we get to the demo, I'm going to just bring us back, and we need to take a moment to thank our sponsors. So give me just a second here. And we are going to thank Prosperity Bank. Prosperity Bank is a proud supporter of the arts. They support us throughout the year and the season, and we thank you so much for all your community support here in Rockport, and especially of the arts. So thank you so much. And now with that, it's back to you, Elsa.
Okay. Sarah, if you want to pan some of the other prints that are finished already. And then,
Wait just one moment. Hey, does anyone in the any of the cast, do you have any questions for Elsa?
no, they're quiet.
All right. Well, let's get into the demo.
Okay. So, all right. Miss Sarita, this is the linoleum block. It's called Battleship Linoleum.
Where do you get that?
I buy from Jerry's Artorama, but I believe maybe some of the local, like Hobby Lobby has it, or any of your art supply stores will have it. And there's different kinds. This one's floppy. There's some that has burlap behind it. So you can cut it to the size that you want to make your print. So some of the things that you will need is, of course, your carving tools. I use these flex cut carving tools. There's also some less expensive ones. And this comes with 4 blades, a V groove, a curve.
Sarah, can you get an up close view of those chisels, please? Just the shape of the chisels.
Oh, let's see. Let's compare these two. Do I need to angle?
No, they're good. And thank you, Cisco Willison. She says the printing press came from Al Barnes. Thank you, Al Barnes.
And if you look at my prints, mine are kind of loose, and but Miss Cisco makes awesome prints with lots of detail. We work different. Anyway, so some of the other things you need, and you can do without this. This is a bench hook. You would put this against your table and then put your linoleum block so that you don't wind up going off into where you don't want to go. If you don't have a bench hook, you can use a shelf liner, and this will grab on, and then you can put your block on there, and it's not going to move. You need an image. Sandpaper a little bit before you start carving. My image here is Miss Hannah. She's one of my granddaughters, and she's going to go to Pennsylvania State. Yay! In September or August, whenever they turn them loose.
Yay!
So this is the image I wanted to do. I want my print to come out with her facing that way. So I put it on Photoshop Elements, reversed it, manipulated it a little bit so there was no background. And then for the sake of time, I went ahead and put a transfer sheet in like a carbon paper and copied it onto my block. Now, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to have this whole background all white or if I'm going to have it I think I'm going to start off with a pattern such as I have in this one down here. It has a pattern background and part of it is white. So if I want it all white, I'm going to have to carve everything out from this background. The blouse will be black. So to carve, you're just going to take your chisel and push with some effort, but not too much. And then you raise up when you get to where you want to stop. Be careful because they're very, very sharp. So if you can see on this sample that I made, there's all kinds of little, I made dots and crosses, straight lines, curves, and so that'll give you different textures. So any questions so far?
All right, yeah. Now, just to clarify, so because not everyone watching is in an aficionado in printmaking. So when you say you're not sure if you want it to be white or not white, what part is white and what part is black on what exactly, how do you get the different colors? When you carve it out, is it white, or when you carve it out, does it get inked?
What you carve out, after you ink your plate, it's not going to print. It'll stay white. And so what you do not carve, it's hard to get your mind around this at first. What you do not carve out is going to take either black, brown, or whatever color ink you wind up putting on there.
So
it's
you're working
reversed.
in inverse, kind of, right?
Yes. So, okay, so the next thing you need is something to put your ink on. It's a little plate here. And I'll show you what else you need first. And then I made myself a template to kind of help me decide where to put my image. So I have a block that's already been carved. So we'll go back here. And this nifty tool is a Baron. After I get my ink on here, I'll put my paper on top. I'll cover it with just like a cover sheet so I don't make a giant mess, and then you start pressing. And you'll press until you get your image. So you can do this at home without a press.
I have a question for you. That plastic that's there that you got taped down, what are you actually holding there? What is that?
Underneath the brown plastic is a piece of paper that I drew the sizes, because I do have some cards. Do you see this little one here? I have some cards that I want to print. And so they would wind up folded like
Fold
this.
card. Okay, great. Awesome.
So then that here in the middle, and then I want to make sure I put my block, my smaller block over there. So it doesn't always work wonderful because things slip, but the block would be underneath here. And I'll sometimes put tape under there and then put my card after it's inked. I'll try and do one for you here in a minute. Okay, so this ink that I'm using is by Dick Blick. It's block printing ink, and I'm using water soluble, so I can clean up with water. I know Cisco and some of the other ladies use oil-based, and I think you can clean that up with mineral oil or baby oil, but I haven't tried that yet. I just happened to buy this. So you spread that, then you have a brayer, and a kind of soft brayer works well. And you spread your ink out.
Did you call that a sprayer?
Brayer with a B.
Brayer. Hmm.
And you just spread.
So you just can't use a painting roller. This is special?
This is special. It's rubber.
How do you know how much to put on there?
I don't know. You guesstimate.
It's an experiment, huh?
Because I can sure get a lot messy with that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I don't know if Sarah can get it real close, but as I'm spreading it out, you can see it has a little texture to it. And after a while, it starts making a squishy noise. And at that point, you know that it's pretty good. And my ink seems to have some lumps in it. So we're probably not going to get a really good print, but that's okay.
Let's have a positive attitude. Positive attitude.
Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to move some of this over. I'm going to bring okay, this is my block. And this is Victoria, my other granddaughter. She's at Schreiner University, second year. Yay, Victoria. Grandmas have to brag on their grandkids all the time, you know.
Hey, you take it.
So,
Shout out to Victoria.
so here's the.
Lovely.
So Victoria, I've
Right
been
on.
painting before you were born, Victoria. So we're going to put this in the center. And let's try. I'm going to just use a newsprint today. And I'm going to carefully, see, I've got that kind of marked out. So I want it in the center. Drop it. Put my other piece. Okay. Put your back into it.
So that's just like a pad, correct?
Yes.
And so you're really getting the ink into it and moving the paper into the block, right?
Right. Now on the press, it presses down with a lot of pressure. A funny thing happened one time when I first started trying the printmaking, and I had this little block that says Easy Cut. It's a pale tan, and Cisco and I put it in the press, and it disintegrated. So we
Right
laugh
on.
about it now.
Well, we have another question for you from the chat room there. Patty asked, does this process also work on natural fiber or fabrics? Or fabrics?
I think it will. I think it will. I think some of the ladies in my group have tried it on scarves. So here's the result.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And then we're going to take it over because it has to dry. And just hang it up.
Oh, and you have one of your cards there too.
I have one. So if we have time, I'll do one.
Yeah, sure.
How long does it take to dry?
The water base dries pretty quickly, probably overnight. The oil base dries a little slower.
Also, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How do you store the prints once they're dry?
I put them in a file folder, and they haven't transferred ink onto anything. And then I have a bin. I have a bin back here where I have different ones that I've done in one.
So is there a sleeve or anything that prevents them from adhering to each other? Or that just is not an issue?
I haven't used one, but I'm sure you could use glassine, or wax paper, something like that, to keep them from sticking to each other. But once they're good and dry, I have not had that issue.
So you don't use nothing like a sheet protector or anything when you store them?
Yeah, you could use that,
Okay.
but I don't. I haven't. But probably because the ones I've done are not precious yet. I'm still learning. I just wanted to share this with you guys.
I love that you
also
shared. Now, you said you have a printers group at the Art Center. Tell us about the printers group, or maybe some folks at home want to get involved with it. How would they contact you about that?
They can contact me or Cisco Willison or probably Karen. We have been meeting on Wednesdays, but that might change dates depending. And there's been usually about 4 or 5 of us, but we would love to have some other people come. We go meet at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we stay till about 4.
And that's at the Art Center Education Annex, correct?
On Market Street, yes, right now, until we get our new building.
Yeah. Now, Carol Kutnick has a question. What kind of paper do you use for a permanent print?
For which kind of print?
Something permanent, like a fine print, I guess.
Okay, a more finer print. Okay. Strathmore, well, the cards I'm using are Strathmore watercolor cards, but Strathmore also makes a printmaking paper. And there's
Okay.
lots of different printmaking papers on the market that you can find and use.
When you look at the printmaking paper, can you tell me what weight of paper that is? How many pounds?
I don't see a pound, but we've used watercolor paper that's 140. We've used different ones.
So
So
really as
unfortunately-
fine as you would like.
Yes,
There's a lot of versatility in printmaking.
yes. I've even used a mineral paper, which is this, which is similar to the Yupo. This is the mineral paper. And look how dark the image came out.
Wow, that has it has a richness to it.
Yes, it does.
I have a question. This is Barbara. Elsa, have you ever done like two colors using two different, cuts?
Actually, I did try and do one, which on a linoleum would be a reduction block. So you have to figure out what part you want, say the lightest color, and you would print that first. And then if you want darker color, say on this print here, I wanted the background to be yellow. So I would just cut out the background, print that, and then when I wanted to put in a darker color, say for her clothing, then I would cut everything else out and just leave her clothing there and print that with a different darker color. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gets complicated.
Good, and yes, it's complicated. You really have to think about it. I kind of messed mine up when I did it. So now I have this little line here in the center to kind of tell me where my middle is. I'm going to put it this way. And put that down. And this, you can also use this spoon if you don't have a Baron. And I can feel the papers moving underneath. I think I probably would do better without this plastic under it. Yeah, it really moved. But hopefully it moved with the linoleum block on it. See where my car went up? That came out okay.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Thank you, Elsa.
Welcome. So I think that's about it for me.
Well, in the meantime, while we let some of your prints dry, I want to take a moment again to thank some sponsors. We are going to, give me just a moment. Ooh, sorry, multiple screens, still working on it. Okay, we want to thank Karen Mella. Karen Mella Real Estate is a great sign sponsor of the of the Rockport Studio Tour. So when we actually have an in-person event, we're going to have signs all over town, and that's courtesy of Karen Mella. And hey, Elsa, I think a little birdie told me that Karen Matthews actually helped you sell your last house and help you purchase your current one. Is that right?
Certainly did. She is the greatest realtor, Miss Karen Mella. We love her.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a great testimonial. Well, thank you so much. And so, Karen, a big shout out to you. Thank you so much for all your support. And then we also have our giveaway. So while we start, we have about 50 people in watching right now. So with that, I'm going to stop the share. And we're going to pass it on over to Doc. Doc, will you take it away and help us pick a great winner for one of her oil or watercolor paintings?
Right on, right on. Yeah. Let me share my screen here. We'll let everybody get a chance to type some numbers in. We're going to go with 1 through 50. So if you're in our chat room, again, to join our chat room, you need to go to YouTube, sign in, and you can, every time we go live, you'll be able to see the chat and you can type and ask questions and everything. And oh, by the way, don't forget to go ahead and hit the little subscribe button down there in the bottom right-hand corner. That'll get you subscribed to our channel and help us all out and everything. We can all, be happy and have thumbs up and have good sponsors and stuff like that. So we're gonna share my screen here, and give me a second there, share that and share. All right, I think everybody can see that. Number 4 is not the number, by the way. I just want everybody
Oh
to know
man, that was my number. No, I'm
that was your
kidding.
number?
Cast members
All
cannot
right.
win.
That's right. So with that being said, we'll give it a couple more seconds here. I think everybody's got some numbers in there. Do we see some numbers going on?
Yeah, we see 22, 5, 42,
Right.
25, 45, 29, 7,
Right on.
52, 1 through 50, Barbara, 1 through 50.
Through 50.
Submit a new one, Barbara Sarton.
Right on.
Oh, so give it a 1 or 2 more minutes.
Yeah, we'll give it a
Sorry,
couple more
Barb's
seconds.
my mother-in-law. I'm going to give her a shout out. Hey there. Gotta go 1 through 50. So
1 through 50.
we have a couple more numbers coming in. Cindy Carter, Victoria Copeland, all coming in. Great.
Right on. Thanks for joining. Glad to see everybody in the chat room. We have quite a few questions this
There's
time.
a Hannah Matthews. I'm pretty sure I saw a print sketch of her. Wonderful. All right. We have
Right
plenty of numbers. Let's go.
All right, here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, and we generate 48. 48 is the lucky number.
Shush. Oh my gosh. I see one, which is Barbara Sarton. If in her redo, if that is, let's see if there's another one that did 48 before that. No, I did not rig this, but Barbara Sarton is the winner.
Really?
Thank you so
Wow.
much. And Elsa, I will put you in contact with Barbara and she'll let you know which one she would like. Now we have another very special visitor for us. She's a lovely lady who's been helping me get more acquainted to Rockport, and as well as helping the downtown businesses and the tourism. That's Sandy Jumper over at the Chamber of Commerce. Sandy, can you tell us what's going on in Rockport this week?
Well, I think we're probably going to get some new updates as far as what businesses can open. I'm not at liberty to say right now, but keep your ears open, because I think we're going to have a few more businesses that are able to open. Last weekend, as you know, we had a huge weekend here in the Rockport Fulton area. Hopefully that's a good thing, and that everybody stayed safe and, practice social distancing. I would think that probably our next official event is probably going to be the Rockport Center for the Arts Art Festival. So hopefully by that time we're all going to be safe and good to go. Is there any questions that anyone wants to ask that I can answer?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I do also want to give it, we're waiting for some questions if anyone has them in there, and open it up to the artists. Do you have any questions for the chamber about how it's going to affect us in tourism and the Rockport Studio Tour? Meanwhile, I also want to say that I have talked to a lot of the downtown merchants, including several of our artists. Anita Diebel has a studio downtown, as well as Stan Irvin. And they're both part of the downtown merchants. And I know the merchants are all opening up this weekend. And they asked me to let everyone know that they're going to be open, and whether you want to stop off and get some curbside lunch at one of our restaurants, maybe picnic outside, enjoy some fresh air and sunlight. Not necessarily that specific beach behind Sandy, but definitely some beautiful waterfront areas. And then maybe get some ice cream downtown, stroll through the shops, visit our galleries. We're going to have, I know Stan and Vicky are going to have some things outdoors. I know that several of the shops are offering by appointment shopping experiences in case you're uncertain or unaware. But please, when you're downtown, please stop in at Estelle Star Gallery. That's the Rockport Center for the Arts. You'll be able to see a lot of the artists here on the studio tour, purchase some of their work in the gift shop. And you can stop by the visitor center just up the road at the Chamber of Commerce and learn all about what businesses are open here in Rockport. So we have our winner. We have our studios. we have our artists next week. We are going to be hanging out with Stan Irvin. Stan, I'm going to put you on spotlight. Can you just tell us a little bit what we may be doing next week at your studio?
Well, it could be a number of different things. I've been thinking a lot about it over the last few days. It's kind of hard to decide exactly, but I'm sure it'll involve probably a little hand building and a little wheel throwing and maybe pulling handles and that sort of thing. And it won't get too much in the weeds.
Great. And are you going to be open this weekend? Is your gallery going to be open?
We probably are going to set up on maybe Friday, Saturday outside the studio. We'll have a little tent out there. So you could see from Austin Street or Water Street.
Oh, great. Do you know what other studios maybe, or what other galleries may be open? Or not?
I really don't. I know there are a lot of downtown merchants that reported they had really good weekend last weekend. So there are a lot of people downtown and a lot of businesses open, and you know, encouraging people to wash their hands as they enter and exit, and wearing masks, though that's not entirely required, and you know, the usual protocols.
Hey, Bonnie, do you know if Windway Gallery is going to be open this weekend?
I don't. I don't. I had heard they were going to be open by appointment.
By appointment. See, and that's great. There's a lot of places, a lot of the small town businesses on Austin Street, that's our main street, have by appointment hours. And so if you are interested in any of the artwork you see here, or if you want to just come on in and see what Rockport has to offer this weekend, it's going to be great to do that. But you can always reach out to me at the Rockport Art Center, and I will happily put you in contact with whomever you would like to speak with.
And
Anita,
and
are
my
you going to be
studio
open?
will be open by appointment, so Friday and Saturday.
Fantastic. So Anita too will be available by appointment. Leave Anita. So you can see some of her wonderful work last week that she did, as well as the rookery. And you can give her a call and she will happily meet up with you there. We have a comment from Sandy. Sandy, what else would you like to say?
I just wanted to say that we do have a list of restaurants that are open, partially open, curbside, or delivery. And that's on our website. And you can look at it. It's under the COVID-19, and you'll see where the restaurant listing is. It's rockportfulton.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to say that we are all together as we reopen Rockport, and we're going to do it virtually. We're going to do it in person. We're going to do it every way possible. So from our heart to yours, everyone, wave goodbye. Vivian, say bye. See y'all later, and we'll see you next week with Stan Irvin. Thanks all.
Thanks.